Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
We're live. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, team.
We're talking Wallace and Gromit. I don't really know why. I think because you're making a funny face.
Well, I was doing a bit of a Wallace and Gromit smile. And we're keeping with our rules, our thing, Coxie, where it's... Oh, I got a double trouble. Geez, hearing me twice is like 4 times worse than hearing me once.
Imagine how it feels for me.
It's like a COVID log scale.
Good morning, Lydia.
How many people do you reckon are trying to work out log scales and stuff? Oh, come on, computer. Play with me.
Just give us 2 seconds to get this all sorted and we're away.
What
happened to my hair and my frustration because we couldn't make this work.
Morning,
everybody. It's Monday morning, and as usual, we've had tech trouble. What a surprise! Who would have thought that 2 online business owners would have trouble with tech on a Monday morning?
Well, it's an interesting point, Coxie, and I'm going to Chuck Norris the crap out of this into the theme of today's toolbox talk. But before I do, I want to talk about the weirdest movie I've seen in a long time last night.
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit.
Sounding a little bad boy bubby-ish, and I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole.
No, and it's not. And I've avoided it too because I thought, and I saw someone comment and say, oh, it's pretty intense and, you know, it's a bit more out there than they thought. And it was part of Mrs. Waz's little movie club they're doing in her workplace because they can't actually go to the movie. So they all watch a movie on the weekend and then they talk about it on the little work chat group. And this could be an idea for your team too, gang. If you're looking for ways to get your team involved in like social stuff and be chatting with each other, little movie club's kind of cool. So anyway, I said, maybe we should just watch it. It's been recommended. It can't be that bad. Like it's a bunch of women occupational therapists. I mean, I know there's some twisted ones, but geez, it's really funny. It's piss funny. Well, I thought it was piss funny. It's by what's his name? Takita Watata or something. That Kiwi dude. That he's funny as a wheel. Hey, check it out, Jojo. I think you'd like it. A bit warped like me. It's not violent or graphic or anything. It's just weird and funny. Anyway, that's my little story for this morning, Coxie.
Thanks for sharing, Warren.
What do you feel like sharing this morning?
I'm sick of having tech trouble, and you're going to tell us why. You're going to Chuck Norris the shit out of that.
Yeah. You would think that we'd learned, wouldn't you?
No, apparently not. Don't touch a computer over the weekend. Didn't work for me this week, team. So...
And you would also think that how many recessions and depressions and economic setbacks have we been through in Australia in the last 20 years?
Too many.
Yeah, more than one, right?
Yeah.
More than 2?
Mm-hmm. This is a good Chuck Norris. I'm impressed.
And yet, despite how many of those we've been through, despite how many government stimulus packages have been chucked at the economy in various ways in various sectors, we still seem to not learn to make permanent change, right? Same way you and I, most Monday mornings, we jump on, it's like, yep, this is going to work exactly how we expect. And it kind of doesn't, right?
Not everyone.
And you would think that we would learn from that. Now, what would be a good solution? I don't know. Maybe we get on 15 minutes early and sort all that out before 7 a.m. But That would mean getting up a little earlier and one less cup of coffee for me, and the dog wouldn't get fed on time. And so, gang, recession. There's been some talk about recession post-COVID and economic impacts of the shutdown, and they're absolutely real, and you're right to be thinking about it and talking about it. And Coxie put up this idea for the focus from today's Toolbox meeting, or Toolbox talk, and I absolutely agree that you really want to make sure that you're taking the lessons from, well, I'm going to add this bit in, from history, and remember all of the fundamentals. Remember the things that you've been putting in place during the COVID economic crisis, like looking at your cash flow every 6.5 minutes, like ruthlessly cutting expenses that aren't actually bringing you new clients or retaining old clients, like putting things on repayment plans to minimize the cash flow impact, like scrutinizing the crap out of your staff productivity, setting tight KPIs for people. Give us a hey if you've been doing any of those things. It's in the comments for those of you watching this live. If you've been doing all those things, like scrutinizing the bajingles out of the financial performance of your business, your team, your loan products, rethinking insurances and having a look at rates on those things, seeing who's offering better deals at the moment. Geez, I know people who have even changed banks because they were getting shafted by their existing bank, and flipping to someone else with an overdraft who's cut their overdraft rates by 0.25%. Accessing not just the government packages, but just accessing benefits that you can get from lenders and product providers and special deals that are going around. So if you're doing any of that stuff, give us a yes in the comments and maybe tell us what you've done that's made a difference. And then I'm going to flip back to Coxie because it was her idea.
I just want to remind anyone that's watching on replay, thank you for sticking through our crap at the beginning, but hashtag replay so that we know that you have dropped in to watch it, because it's important to us to make sure that you're all turning up, showing up, getting inspired and moving forward, because it's a big thing for us to be out of bed at 7 o'clock making tech work for you on a Monday morning. And we want to make sure that we're hitting the mark, right? So if you could just give us some feedback in the comments, that would be fantastic. Hashtag replay if you watch at a later date. Now, I guess what we've seen before, and I'm already seeing again, is as things start to settle or we start to feel comfortable in what this new normal is, we tend to forget where we've just come from. We tend to forget the pain that we've just been through, or the worry or the concern. So yes, mindfully looking forward, we need to be in control of our cash flow. We need to know where our money is to have reduced any over expenditures and to be working towards a tighter margin. But if we look back at the pain points we're in right now and what that forced us to do in our business, it's important not to go back to where we were before, not to forget all of that stuff and just move forward. It's important to make sure that those lessons that you learned during that time about how you can slightly pivot your business to make it more profitable or more marketable to the open market, that's the stuff that you need to keep in play moving forward. Because you think every time that you did an estimate via your phone or an estimate via a Zoom call or something similar, you're actually saving time and money. And that's something that now that we've, as consumers, been conditioned to it, you can move forward and continue to do, remembering that that lesson is important for you to continue. Don't throw it out the window. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, I suppose, would be the classic saying for now. Far too often we're seeing tradies, particular, but all business owners in all types of business, forget quickly the pain points and the changes and the pivots that they had to make to get moving through this time period with what is undeniably going to be a very tough economic time for the next short period, maybe long period. We need to be mindful of all of those changes and not just drop the ball. Keep moving forward, keep thinking about ways in which you can reinvent yourself within your business. So go back to those Zoom calls, cut down the time you're wasting with tire kickers, ensure that your sales process is super tight so you're not having to go out and visit people that aren't going to actually follow through with the quotes that you're taking time to prepare. Keep motivating and keep your staff working well, keep your team together, keep talking well. Do your toolbox talks a little differently so that you're actually saving time and increasing productivity. Keeping an eye on your cash flow has got to be the most important thing that we hope that everybody's taken out of this one. But keep talking to your banks, like Warwick said, or keep talking to your financial providers or your insurance providers or anybody that you pay a bill to on a regular basis. Now's the time to be renegotiating a deal, and then keep on top of that. Don't be afraid to then call them again in another 3 months and renegotiate again. So I guess the big thing for us today was ensuring that you were mindful moving into this week ahead, as most of the restrictions throughout Australia are really starting to loosen up. That you are keeping in mind where you've just come from and how those changes in your business can be really positive for you moving forward and keep you ahead of the game instead of falling behind again. Did I miss anything, Laurie?
No. And I just listening to your language, all of that, Nicole, is realizing how much our members have been innovating and pivoting and doing different things, adding different services. Good morning, Josh. Or was Josh already on and now it says he's joined even though he'd already joined?
Yes.
So a lot of our members have been doing some amazing hustling during this time. And I can already see people back to the old ways. And it's just, I was sitting here thinking, no, don't go back to the old ways. The old ways are dead. And we're yet to see the full implications of COVID. Like this is going to unfold over the next 2, 3, 4 years, particularly in Australia. And, you know, we don't even know what the global impact is going to be on us yet. So, awesome, Kent. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, sales process. So a lot of people, I think, more aware of time, Coxie.
Yeah.
Now. And it is such a big area that you and I see as a barrier for people joining the trade desk, getting value from the work they do with us, with their families in their own business. And so I really believe that being more judicious, more conscious with time is perhaps one of the biggest areas that I would like to see our members focus on is not slipping back into those old habits, because those old habits have been around for a long, long time for many of us. Morning, Steve. And so it's really easy after a couple of months of change to slip back into old habits we've been following for years. So I would love to see all of you actually keep new time management practices in place, whether that's your sales process, whether it's how you do your quoting, if you're still taking photos, doing Zoom meetings. Like, why get in your damn car and drive? People are already complaining about, oh my gosh, all the traffic back on the road. It took me ages to get into town the other day. And it's like, you were one of them, you clown. Like, what are you doing? Stop driving everywhere. 2 degrees. Well, we had 4 here, Steve. So I see you're 2 and I rated 4. Sucked in. So, yeah, time's a big one, I think, Coxie, and just being mindful of how we waste so much time, which has such a cost financially and socially to us. So absolutely agree.
I would just like to add, to borrow from the government's language, to stay ahead of the curve in business, continuing to implement the changes that you've already begun implementing will keep you ahead of the other businesses playing in your field. So what we're seeing overwhelmingly from our trade desk is a continued success mindset through this. I'm using big wanky words for a Monday morning, but a continued positive mindset throughout this process. Now is the time. We haven't even seen what this looks like yet. It's going to get quite tough. Money's going to get quite short. It will be harder to qualify and find the right clients ready to spend the money. I promise they're still out there, but you need to stay ahead of the curve. So you need to have your debtors process in place. So the second you've invoice immediately for starters. Don't wait 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then be chasing up that invoice. Have a process in place so that you can do so. Have your structure around your team and your staff really firm and set so that you understand and they understand the parameters in which you're working, and keep your efficiency top of mind all the time so that you are moving through what you need to do on a day-to-day basis as quickly, as cleanly, and as efficiently as possible to ensure that your profit margin is at the top of its tree as much as you can. So, and then coming back through with your cash flow, so sitting down on at least a weekly basis and having a look at what your cash flow looks like. Have a look at the projection. Time and time again still, particularly in the trade desk, we're still hearing from people that they don't understand how to look at projecting your cash flow for the next couple of months. You can do it in a trade business. Yes, it's up and down, but you can do it. If you need more support, you know that we've got the drawing board, or you can book blocks of time with us individually so that we can talk you through that if you prefer to do it that way. But there are ways in which you can look and start to predict what's about to happen so that you can think, okay, what have I got to do with my marketing to avoid that hole I can see coming? All of these processes that you've started to learn whilst being in the trade desk and felt uncomfortable in the last couple of months, so you've had to pivot and look at different ways to implement your business, now more than ever is the time to continue doing what you've started doing. Don't fall back into the old habits like Warwick said. Probably all of this has happened a little bit earlier, or going back to it has happened a little bit earlier than a new habit would have been formed. We're probably a whole month really yet off those being your new default habits. So keep that in mind, move forward and keep doing what you're already doing. Make it as efficient as possible so that the money stays in your back pocket. You're not wasting time. Time's huge, you're right.
Yeah, and that wastage is a big one. I get a bit cranky when I see pictures on social media of fancy new cars being purchased with the grant money, and it's like, oh, come on, is that the best thing you could have done with it? I mean, new car's nice, and I don't want to judge people's values in life, and it's probably easy, morning Sia, it's probably easy to get a bit complacent, Coxie.
Mm.
You know, there's lots of cash getting chucked at certain people. I haven't seen any of it, and neither have you, but I saw just a total aside here. I saw a mutual business friend of ours have a rant online about the fact that he didn't qualify for any of the support, despite the fact that he works very closely with tradies and trade-based businesses that are affected. And I must say, I feel much the same. You know, we're looking at all of our members getting these grants and tax relief and PAYG refunds, and they should, and that's awesome. And we got squat. So, but that's good because it means that we don't need it. So, yeah, I think just that wasting time, wasting money. If I had to pick a thing from today, Coxie, that was going to be my focus for the week, off the back of the team meeting or the toolbox meeting, I would say I'm going to be more mindful of wastage.
Mm.
And so I've put a question up here, gang, whether you're watching this live today or on the hashtag replay, pop your commitment for the week into the comments. What's your one thing for the week? If you haven't read the book, The One Thing, then you really should. But what's your one thing for the week? That one thing that, if you get it done, is going to make a whole bunch of other things easier, or, you know, more synergistic. As my finger with my latte this morning. But what's your one thing for the week? Pop it in the comments, and Coxie and I will endeavour to keep you accountable on that. We'll bring it up next Monday. So if you would like a bit of help with your focus, pop it in the comments, and we'll come back to it next Monday and see how you went. And my thing is going to be wastage, Coxie. I'm just going to stop some of the wastage of time.
Pop it in the comments, Laurie.
Say again.
Pop it in the comments. Commit. I'd like to remind you also that there is a thread in the Trade Desk group at the moment where we're asking you to commit to your 3-month goal. Give us your quarter goal so that we can chase you up. So for those of you that haven't previously committed to a quarterly goal, we will email you once a month to see how you went. We encourage you to email us back and let us know where you're sitting with it. If you'd like to have that focus, have somebody keeping you accountable, please drop your quarterly goal into that feed. It is an expectation of being part of these training situations, or this opportunity to learn, maybe that's a better way to put it, and to understand what accountability can do for your business. We expect you to pop something into the comments. So give us your one thing for this week so that we can chase you up about it next week, and then pop your quarterly goal into the thread. Warwick and I will do the same. We're as transparent as everybody else. I think our quarterly goal for this quarter might be the same as last quarter.
What, 1,000 tradies?
No, that's the yearly goal. But on that, please, we want 1,000 traders in the trade desk. We love what we do so much. We're so concerned about the trades. As you know, we're giving it away for free. So if you know somebody that needs an opportunity like this, now's the time to let them know. This is only going to run on for a short period of time. I think very soon, within 6 weeks or so, we're going to shut down the free offer. So if you've got a mate, a friend, a tradie wife, anybody you think could benefit from the trade desk and what we offer in here, please let them know that they have a short period of time to experience it for free. And it's obligation free. We'll email you 7 days before your membership rolls into a paid one so that they can be told this is how you quit. This is how you unsubscribe, unfollow, you're done, you can move on. Take what you've learned, put it into your business and see the opportunity to expand, grow, learn, and move forward. So now's the time. Please let them know. Commit to your goals. We're really keen to help you through this. Have a great week.
Great week, gang. Drop your folks in the comments. We'll help you with that. Thank you, Coxie, for another great Toolbox meeting. And we're going to roll into our implementation session now. So we're going to sign off, gang. You don't get to see this next bit.
Exciting things for you guys, though.
Yeah. But we're working on some more cool stuff. So whatever you're doing, have a fantastic week, and look forward to seeing you next week, 7 a.m. East Coast time in Australia, which everyone's pretty much on the same now. And we're going to get on a bit earlier and sort the tech before we start the meeting. And for those listening to the podcast, if you're not in the trade desk, make sure you jump in because, as Coxie said, it is free. And the coupon code is Tradies for Tradies. So head on over and jump into the trade desk and be part of this.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. We'll be seeing you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Coffee with Coxie.
Yeah.
See you then.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.